Sam's discovery changed everything. If the Anteri were somehow still involved, manipulating the war from the shadows, then no one was truly safe. "We need proof," Jack said. They gathered in a secure room at Earth Command. Jack, Olivia, Ethan, Sam, Natalie, and Commander Lisa Reeves, who had been called back from the front lines. Sam pointed to star charts showing battle locations. "The pattern is clear when you look at it. The battles form a shape across the galaxy, like a net closing in. And at the center is this empty region of space called the Dark Zone. No one goes to the Dark Zone," Krell explained. "Coalition ships that enter never return." Elder Morik nodded. "There have always been rumors about the Dark Zone. Some say it's where the Anteri fled after their defeat, or where they've been hiding, waiting for humanity to return to space," Ethan suggested. They took their findings to Earth's leaders. After hours of debate, a decision was made. They would send a small team to investigate the Dark Zone. If the Anteri were there, controlling the war, they had to be stopped. "This is a mission that requires all of us," Jack told his crew. "Human adaptability, coalition knowledge, and the best pilots and soldiers we have." To everyone's surprise, representatives from each warrior species volunteered to join. A Drakari scout, a Vespid engineer, a Cronus warrior, an Obsidian navigator, and a Nexari hunter. "This threat concerns all species," the Nexari said. "If the Anteri have returned, no one is safe." The mission was set. They would take the Pathfinder, modified with the best technology Earth and the Coalition could provide. Jack would command with Olivia, Ethan, Sam, and Natalie joining him. Commander Reeves would coordinate support from outside the Dark Zone. As they prepared to leave, General Harris tried to stop them. "This is a trap," he warned. "The aliens are leading us to our destruction. Or you're being manipulated by the very enemy we're trying to find," Jack replied. The journey to the Dark Zone took 2 weeks. As they crossed the boundary, their systems began to fail. Strange energy readings appeared on their sensors. "Something's pulling us in," the Obsidian navigator warned. They were dragged toward a massive space station hidden in the darkness. It was ancient but clearly active, with lights glowing across its surface. "That design," Elder Morik whispered. "It's Anteri." As they were pulled into a docking bay, Jack gathered everyone together. "Remember, we need to find the control center. Whatever is manipulating the war will be there." They fought their way through the station, facing automated defense systems and strange robots. The combined skills of humans and the warrior species made them a formidable team. The Drakari's camouflage, the Cronus' strength, the Nexari's speed, the Vespid's technical skills, and the Obsidian's resistance to energy weapons all proved crucial. But it was the humans' ability to adapt quickly to new threats that kept them moving forward. When one approach failed, they immediately tried another. When weapons didn't work, they found tools or makeshift explosives. Finally, they reached the heart of the station. There they found not living Anteri, but a massive artificial intelligence. It had been created by the last Anteri before they died out, programmed to wait for humanity's return to space and then eliminate them, along with any other species that had taken the Anteri's place in the galaxy. "It's been playing everyone against each other," Sam realized, "creating a galaxy-wide war." The AI attacked them with everything it had: security robots, energy fields, even psychological warfare, by creating illusions of their worst fears. But together, they fought through it all. Jack led the team to the Ice Core, while Olivia and Sam worked to hack its systems. The warrior species provided protection, fighting with a coordination they had never shown before. When the AI was finally shut down, it broadcast one last message to the galaxy, a complete record of humanity's military capabilities, meant to turn everyone against them. But it had the opposite effect. Seeing how humans fought, with determination but also with honor and a willingness to sacrifice for allies, many species chose peace instead of continued war. The Galactic Coalition was reformed, with Earth as a member. The knowledge that humans had been engineered as weapons but chose cooperation changed how they were viewed. As Jack looked out at the stars from the Pathfinder's observation deck, Krell joined him. "The galaxy still fears humans," Krell said. "But now they also respect you. Because we didn't become the conquerors we were designed to be." Krell's scales shifted to a deep blue. "Because you never, ever give up. That makes you the most dangerous enemies. And the most valuable friends." The attack on Haven changed everything. What started as a conflict with a single Cronus faction quickly grew into something much bigger. Other warrior species saw an opportunity to settle old scores, and several battles broke out across Coalition space. Earth found itself fighting for survival. Diplomatic messages flew back and forth between planets. Some Coalition members sided with humans, while others joined against them. Jack and his crew returned to the Pathfinder. They needed to get this information back to Earth. As they prepared to leave the station, Krell and Elder Morik asked to join them. "Your people need to understand what they're facing," Morik said, "and why some in the galaxy want to destroy humanity before you grow stronger." The journey back to Earth took 3 weeks. During that time, the war spread to 7 star systems. The Pathfinder received constant updates about battles between human ships and various alien forces. "It's not going well," Ethan said, looking at the latest reports. "We're outnumbered 10-1. But we're winning more than we should," Olivia pointed out. "Look at the Battle of Proxima Centauri. 3 human ships defeated 8 Nexari cruisers. When they finally reached Earth, they found a planet preparing for war. Military ships orbited the planet. New weapons were being built using technology reverse-engineered from Coalition designs. Jack, Olivia, Ethan, Sam, and Natalie were immediately taken to Earth Command, where they presented everything they had learned. Elder Morik and Krell shared their knowledge as well. Dr. Olivia Grant began working with Earth scientists. They studied the genetic markers Natalie had discovered and confirmed the truth. Humans had indeed been engineered for combat, with enhanced reflexes, stamina, and problem-solving abilities. "But we're not just killing machines," Olivia argued during a high-level meeting. "The same traits that make us dangerous also allow us to create art, music, and literature. We've evolved beyond our original design." Jack was sent on a diplomatic mission to the Nexari homeworld. The cat-like aliens were fierce warriors, but also respected strength. Jack hoped to convince them that humans wanted peace, not domination. "Your species fought its way to freedom once," the Nexari leader said to Jack. "How do we know you won't try to rule the galaxy now?" "Because that's not who we are," Jack replied. "We don't want to conquer. We want to explore and learn." Meanwhile, a group of hardline human military leaders, led by General Keith Harris, began pushing for aggressive expansion. "The galaxy fears us anyway," Harris argued. "We should use that fear to secure our place among the stars." His view was gaining support, especially as news of human victories spread. People began to believe that humanity was destined to rule. "This is exactly what the Coalition fears," Krell told Jack when he returned from the Nexari homeworld. "That humans will become the very conquerors they once fought against." As battles raged across multiple systems, the Coalition began to fracture. Some species called for peace with humans. Others demanded their complete destruction. What puzzled Sam was how successful humans were in battle. "Even with our adaptability, we shouldn't be winning this much," he said. "Earth ships are defeating enemies that should crush them easily." He began analyzing battle data, looking for patterns. What he found was disturbing. "Someone is helping us," Sam told the others. "Look at these Dracari battle formations. They're making basic mistakes they shouldn't make. And these Cronus ships. Their shields went down at exactly the right moment for our attacks to succeed." "What are you saying?" Ethan asked. "I'm saying someone is manipulating this war," Sam replied, "making sure humans win just enough to keep fighting, but not enough to end the conflict. Someone wants this war to continue." "But who?" Jack wondered. "And why?" Sam pulled up an image on his screen. It showed an ancient symbol hidden in the code of a damaged alien ship, the same symbol that had been on the Antari vessels 50,000 years ago. "I think," Sam said quietly, "that our old masters might not be as gone as we thought." The victory at Haven changed things. News spread quickly through the coalition. Humans had defeated a Cronus battle group against impossible odds. Some alien species began to look at the humans with new respect. Others became even more afraid. Jack and his crew spent hours with Elder Morik, learning the true history of humanity's place in the galaxy. "It is time you knew everything," Morik said, activating a holographic display that showed ancient Earth. "Your history begins 50,000 years ago, when your ancestors were still living in caves." The hologram showed primitive humans hunting with stone tools. Then strange ships appeared in the sky. "The Antari discovered Earth during their expansion," Morik explained. "They were an advanced race that needed workers for their mines and factories. When they found humans, they saw potential." The images showed aliens taking humans from Earth, loading them onto ships. "They took thousands of your ancestors and brought them to Antari worlds," Morik continued. "The Antari believed humans would make perfect slaves, strong enough to work, intelligent enough to learn tasks, but not advanced enough to resist." Olivia looked troubled. "They were wrong, weren't they?" "Very wrong." Morik nodded. "At first, humans did as they were told. They learned the language, learned to use simple tools. The Antari thought they were succeeding, but humans were watching, learning more than their masters realized." The hologram showed humans in alien mines, working under harsh conditions. Then it showed something unexpected: humans speaking secretly to each other, making simple weapons from mining tools. "The rebellion began on a mining moon called Kelder," Morik said. "The Antari never expected it. They had energy weapons and battle armor. The humans had rocks, picks, and sharpened metal. But the humans had something the Antari didn't understand: teamwork and incredible determination. The images showed the impossible: humans with primitive weapons overwhelming aliens with advanced technology. They used traps. They attacked in coordinated groups. They fought with a fury that shocked their captors. The Antari sent soldiers, but the humans adapted. They stole weapons. They learned to use them quickly. They kept fighting even when victory seemed impossible." Natalie watched in amazement. "Our ancestors did this." "Yes. The war lasted 3 years. The Antari lost moon after moon, planet after planet. The slaves they had taken became their nightmare." Sam shook his head. "But how?" "The technology gap was huge. The Antari had grown soft," Ethan guessed. "They relied on their technology, not their fighting spirit." "Exactly," Morik said. "And humans fought in ways no species had seen before. They did not follow the rules of war. They attacked at night. They poisoned water supplies. They set traps. They used the Antari's own weapons against them." The hologram showed the final battle, with humans storming an Antari city. The survivors fled, spreading stories about the demons of Earth. They warned that humans would one day reach the stars and seek revenge. The galaxy's powers decided to quarantine your solar system. They erased all traces of their presence on Earth and placed monitoring stations to watch for signs of advancement. "How did we forget all this?" Jack asked. "The humans who fought were never returned to Earth," Morik said. "And on Earth itself, your species was still primitive. The events became legends, then myths, then were forgotten completely." Natalie suddenly looked up from a data pad she'd been studying. "There's something else. I've been analyzing the genetic data the Coalition collected from us. Our DNA contains markers that aren't natural." "What do you mean?" Jack asked. "We were engineered," Natalie said quietly. "The Antari were changing us, enhancing certain traits. They were trying to create perfect soldiers. Soldiers who would obey orders," Morik added. "The experiment failed when the test subjects proved uncontrollable. That is what truly terrifies the warrior species. Not just that humans are adaptive, but that you were literally designed to be the perfect warriors, yet you cannot be controlled. Jack looked at his crew, then back at the ancient images of humans fighting against impossible odds. So that's why they fear us, he said. Not because of what we are, but because of what we were meant to be. The council chamber erupted in chaos. Jack grabbed a communication device and called the Pathfinder. Contact Earth. Tell them what's happening. We need ships at Haven now. The Cronus leader, a massive four-armed alien with tribal markings, stood up. This was not ordered by our high command. A faction of our warriors has acted without permission. That doesn't help the dead, Ethan said coldly. Within hours, the first battles of the human-Cronus War began. Earth ships, though fewer and less advanced, rushed to defend Haven and evacuate survivors. The Pathfinder crew watched from the Coalition station as reports came in. They're losing, Olivia said quietly, looking at the battle data. The Cronus had 20 warships against Earth's 7. But then something unexpected happened. The human ships changed their tactics. Instead of fighting in formation as the Cronus expected, they scattered, attacking from multiple angles. They used the planet's moon for cover, striking and then hiding. What are they doing? Asked a Drakari officer watching nearby. This is not proper battle form. 3 hours later, the Cronus had lost 5 ships. The humans had lost 2, but had managed to evacuate most of the surviving colonists. Impossible, the Drakari whispered. A new message arrived from Earth. Fleet Commander Lisa Reeves had taken command of the defense forces. Her message was simple. We will not fall. Reinforcements coming. Hold the line. Jack felt a strange mix of pride and worry as he watched his species fight its first interstellar war. The Cronus were stronger, their ships more powerful, but the humans were fighting in ways the Cronus had never seen before. They don't understand what they're facing, Krell said, joining them at the view screen. The Cronus fight with honor and tradition. They expect the same from their enemies. Humans fight to win, Ethan replied. While the battle raged, Jack and Olivia worked with moderate coalition members to prevent the war from spreading. Many alien species were watching closely, deciding whether to join the fight or stay neutral. We need to find the Cronus faction leaders, Jack told Ambassador Zixpora. If we can talk to them, maybe we can stop this. It may be too late, Zixpora said. Once blood is spilled, the warrior species rarely step back. That evening, Sam, now recovered enough to walk, told them he had made a discovery. I've been looking through the station's records with Natalie. We found mentions of a group called the Watchers. They've been studying humanity for centuries. Where can we find them? Jack asked. That's the interesting part, Natalie said. According to the records, one of their leaders is here on this station. They found the Watcher headquarters hidden in the oldest part of the station. It was a simple door with a strange symbol, a human eye surrounded by stars. Inside, beings from different species worked at ancient computers. At the center sat an alien unlike any they had seen before. It was small and gray, with a large head and huge black eyes. I am Elder Morik, it said in a soft voice. We have been expecting you, humans. You've been watching us, Jack said. Why? To understand what makes you so dangerous. Morik gestured to the screens around them. And so valuable. The screens showed human history, wars, inventions, art, science. They showed humans adapting to every environment on Earth, surviving disasters, always moving forward. What you call normal, we call extraordinary, Morik explained. No other species adapts as quickly as humans. No other species shows such creativity in battle. You call it thinking outside the box. We call it the adaptive fury. The what? Olivia asked. The adaptive fury. The ability to change your tactics in the middle of a fight. To see new solutions where others see only defeat. Morik's large eyes blinked slowly. It is why the warrior species fear you. They excel at fighting in ways they have practiced for generations, but humans excel at changing the rules of the fight itself. A message interrupted them. The battle at Haven had turned. Commander Reeves had launched a surprise attack that crippled the Cronus command ship. The Cronus fleet was retreating. And that, Morick said, pointing to the battle report, is why the galaxy fears humanity more than any warrior species. The next few minutes were chaos. Krell fired his weapon at the Drakari attackers while Jack helped Ethan subdue the one he was fighting. Olivia and Natalie dragged Sam away from the weapon's fire. He was alive but badly hurt, with a burn across his chest. "This way," Krell shouted over the alarms. He led them through the broken wall into another service tunnel. "Coalition peacekeepers will come soon. We must be gone." They carried Sam through narrow passages until they reached a small medical bay. It was empty except for basic supplies. Olivia, who had medical training, began treating Sam's wound. "Why are they trying to kill us?" Jack demanded. "Not all want you dead," Krell said. "Just the extremists. The Drakari who attacked you belong to a group called the Purifiers. They believe humans will destroy the galaxy if allowed to spread." "That's ridiculous," Natalie said. "We just want to explore and make peaceful contact." Krell's scales shifted from gold to a dark red. "That is what the Nexari said before they enslaved 12 worlds. That is what the Cronus claimed before they destroyed the Halvan civilization. We're not like them," Jack insisted. "No," Krell agreed. "You are something else entirely." Coalition peacekeepers found them an hour later. The station was under lockdown, and dozens of aliens had been arrested. Ambassador Zix-4 arrived, looking concerned. "This is an outrage," Zix-4 said. "An attack on diplomatic guests violates our most sacred laws. The Drakari Purifiers will face justice." "We want answers," Jack said firmly. "Why do some think we're a threat? What is this awakening they mentioned?" Zix-4's 4 arms moved in a complex gesture. "The Coalition Council is meeting now to discuss the human situation. You will have answers soon." Sam was taken to a better medical facility. The rest of the crew was moved to new, more secure quarters. Coalition guards stood outside their door, for protection, they were told. Meanwhile, Earth had received news of the attack. More ships were being sent, including military vessels. The message Jack received was clear: we will not allow our people to be threatened. 2 days later, they were summoned to the council chamber. This time, all 5 leader species were present, along with representatives from most coalition worlds. The room was tense. The Vespid Queen spoke first, her voice coming from several of her worker drones at once. "Humans, we have debated your place in the galaxy. Some wish to contain your species. Others seek alliance. A few demand your elimination as a threat." "We are not a threat," Jack said. "We come in peace." The Vespid's compound eyes glittered. "All species say this, but humans are different. You are not feared for your bodies, but for your minds." The room fell silent. The Queen continued. "Most species evolve either great physical strength, like the Cronus, or great intelligence, like my kind. Some develop specialized abilities, like the Drakari camouflage. But humans evolved something more dangerous: adaptability, innovation, and persistence beyond reason." Holograms appeared, showing ancient battles. Primitive humans with stone tools fought against aliens with advanced weapons. The humans were dying by the hundreds, but they kept coming, overwhelming their technologically superior enemies through sheer numbers and determination. "These records are from the First Contact War," the Queen explained. "When the Antari discovered Earth, they thought humans would make ideal slaves. They were wrong. The images showed humans creating traps, stealing alien technology, adapting it for their own use. Despite terrible losses, the humans kept fighting, kept adapting. No other species continues fighting when defeat is certain," the Obsidian leader said, his crystalline body pulsing with light. "No other species learned so quickly how to use their enemies' weapons against them." Suddenly, alarms blared again. A coalition officer rushed in. "The Cronus battle fleet has broken formation," he reported. "They've attacked the human colony on Haven. Hundreds are dead." Jack stared at Krell in disbelief. "What do you mean? Humans have never been in space before now." "There is no time," Krell insisted. "Follow me if you want to live." With alarms still blaring, Jack, Olivia, and Ethan followed Krell through service tunnels that wound deep into the station. They emerged in a small, hidden room filled with old technology and star maps. "My safe place," Krell explained. "I am a collector of forbidden knowledge." "What knowledge?" Olivia asked, catching her breath. "The truth about Earth. About Terrans." Krell pulled up images on an ancient screen. These records are over 10,000 years old. The images showed primitive-looking spacecraft that Jack didn't recognize, but they had a symbol painted on their sides, the blue circle with green land masses, Earth. "That's impossible," Ethan said. 10,000 years ago, humans were just figuring out farming." "Not all humans," Krell said. "Some were taken. Some were changed." Before he could explain further, a message beeped on Jack's communicator. It was from the Pathfinder. 2 new crew members had arrived from Earth. Sam Porter, a research specialist, and Natalie Wright, a cultural liaison. "We need to get back to them," Jack said. Krell gave them a small data device. "Take this. Study it. It contains what I know about your species' past, but be careful who sees it." They used Krell's secret tunnels to return to the docking bay. Sam and Natalie were being held by Coalition security, looking confused and worried. "Captain Harmon," Sam said when he saw Jack. "They won't let us through. They say there's been some kind of security problem." Jack stepped forward. "These are my crew members. I vouch for them." The security officers reluctantly let Sam and Natalie pass. As they walked back to their quarters, Jack quietly told them about the strange events. "We need to look at what's on that data device," Natalie said. Back in their quarters, Olivia linked the device to their computers. Ancient text and images appeared on the screen. "I can only translate parts of it," she said after a few hours. "But it talks about a species called Terrans who were feared throughout the galaxy. They were quarantined on their home planet after a great war." "Terrans. That's us, right? From Terra, the Latin name for Earth?" Sam asked. "Yes, but this can't be right," Olivia said. "According to these records, humans had space travel over 10,000 years ago. Then something happened, and we were locked away on Earth, our technology destroyed. And they've been watching us ever since," Ethan added grimly, "waiting for us to reach space again." "But why?" Natalie wondered. "What could early humans have done to frighten the entire galaxy?" Sam studied the ancient star maps. "Whatever the reason, I think some people in the Coalition don't want us to know about it, and others think we're dangerous enough to eliminate now." Suddenly, a massive explosion rocked the station. The lights flickered and went out, replaced by dim emergency lighting. "What was that?" Jack moved to the door, but it was locked. "We're trapped in here." Another explosion, closer this time. The wall of their quarters cracked, and smoke began to fill the room. "We need to get out." Ethan tried to force the door open while Sam and Natalie gathered essential equipment. A section of the wall collapsed, and 3 aliens in combat armor rushed in. Jack recognized them as Drakari, their scales shifting color to match the smoky room. "Death to the destroyers," one of them hissed, raising a weapon. Ethan moved faster than Jack had ever seen him move. He tackled the lead Drakari, and they crashed to the floor. The other 2 aimed at Sam, who was closest to them. Bright energy flashed. Sam cried out and fell. The room filled with weapons fire as Ethan grappled with the Drakari attacker. "The awakening must be prevented," another Drakari shouted. Through the smoke and chaos, Jack saw Krell appear at the broken wall, holding a weapon of his own. "Run," Krell shouted. "I will hold them back." Jack couldn't sleep after his strange meeting with Krell. He paced their quarters until morning, when Olivia and Ethan joined him for breakfast. "You look terrible," Olivia said, pushing a cup of coffee toward him. "I had a visitor last night," Jack said. He told them about Krell and the cryptic warning. Ethan frowned. "We need answers. I'm tired of being treated like a dangerous animal." Their door slid open. Ambassador Zix Vora stood there with 2 guards. "The council has agreed to meet with you. Follow me." The meeting chamber was huge, with seats for hundreds of aliens. Most of those seats were empty. Only about 50 representatives had come to meet the humans. "The 5 major powers have sent delegates," Zix Vora explained, pointing to a group of aliens seated at the front. "They rule most of the galaxy." Jack studied the 5 species. One looked like a giant lizard with scales that changed color as it moved. Another was insect-like, with a swarm of smaller versions hovering around it. The third had 4 powerful arms and gray skin covered in tribal markings. The fourth seemed made of living crystal that glowed from within. The last was cat-like, with predatory eyes that tracked every human movement. "These are the warrior species," Zix Vora said. "The Drakari, the Vespid, the Cronus, the Obsidians, and the Nexari. They have evolved specifically for combat and conquest." "Then why do they fear us?" Ethan asked bluntly. The room fell silent. The lizard-like Drakari hissed softly. "We did not say we feared you," it said, its voice raspy. "You don't have to," Olivia replied. "It's obvious in how you're treating us." The meeting was short and tense. The council asked basic questions about Earth and human biology. They seemed especially interested in how humans fought wars. Afterward, Zix Vora assigned them a guide named Mila, a small blue alien with large eyes. Mila showed them around the parts of the station they were allowed to visit. "The warrior species run everything," Mila explained. "They evolved as apex predators on their home planets. The Drakari can change their skin to match any environment. The Vespid Queen controls thousands of workers with her mind. The Cronus can punch through metal with their 4 arms. The Obsidians can survive in space without protection. And the Nexari can see in complete darkness and move faster than most species can track." "And humans?" Jack asked. "How do we compare?" Mila looked uncomfortable. "You are different." Later, Olivia managed to meet with a coalition historian, an ancient-looking alien with translucent skin. "Your species is physiologically unremarkable," the historian told her. "Your bodies are not particularly strong or fast. But your minds—" The historian paused. "There are old stories about humans. Very old stories." Meanwhile, Ethan discovered hidden cameras in their quarters and found evidence that coalition scientists were analyzing samples of human DNA. That night, Jack received an encrypted message from Earth. Other human ships had been denied access to multiple star systems without explanation. The message ended with a warning. "Something isn't right. Be careful." Jack was about to show the message to Olivia and Ethan when the station alarms began blaring. "Attention all personnel," a voice announced. "Security breach in Sector 7. All residents return to quarters immediately." Sector 7 was where the human quarters were located. "What's happening?" Olivia asked as they watched armed guards run past their door. "I don't know," Jack said, "but I think it's about us." Suddenly their door opened. Krell stood there, bleeding from a wound on his arm. "You must come with me now," the reptilian alien said urgently. "They know what I told you. Some believe humans should be eliminated before you remember what you truly are." "Remember what?" Jack demanded. Krell's eyes were wide with fear. "That you are the species that once brought the galaxy to its knees." The stars looked different from this side of the solar system. Jack Harmon had been a pilot for 20 years, but he had never seen them quite like this. The endless void stretched before him as he stood on the bridge of the Pathfinder, humanity's first true starship. "We're ready for the jump, Captain," said Olivia Grant, looking up from her console. Her dark hair was pulled back in a tight bun, her eyes reflecting the glow of the instruments. Jack nodded. Major Cole, status report. Ethan Cole stood at attention, his military bearing obvious even in the ship's gray jumpsuit. All systems green, sir. Earth Command gives us final clearance. It was the year 2157, and humanity was about to make its first faster-than-light jump. Decades of work, countless failures, and too many lives had led to this moment. Jack felt the weight of it all as he gave the order. Engage FTL drive. The stars stretched like rubber bands, and Jack's stomach lurched. A flash of blue light washed over the bridge, and then they were somewhere else, somewhere no human had ever been. "We made it," Olivia whispered, checking her instruments. "We're in the Proxima Centauri system." The crew of 12 erupted in cheers. Earth's greatest achievement was now complete. Humanity had broken the light barrier. But that was 3 weeks ago. Now, as Jack looked at the massive space station that hung before them, he felt small again. The Galactic Coalition headquarters was bigger than any city on Earth, a spinning wheel of metal and light that housed representatives from 27 different alien species. "They're hailing us again," Olivia said, her voice tense. The alien face that appeared on the screen was insect-like, with compound eyes and moving mandibles. "Human vessel, you are cleared to dock at Bay 94. Do not deviate from your assigned path. Coalition escorts will guide you." Jack frowned. This was the third time they'd been given the same instructions, each time with increasing firmness. "We acknowledge. Coalition control. Following escort to Bay 94, he replied. As the Pathfinder moved toward the station, Ethan joined Jack by the view screen. "Sir, have you noticed how heavily armed our escorts are?" Jack had noticed. 4 warships, each bristling with weapons, surrounded their small vessel. "I have, Major. They're treating us like we're dangerous. But they invited us here after we sent out our first signals," Olivia said, joining them. "Why act afraid now?" The docking went smoothly, but the reception was cold. Ambassador Zix Vora, a tall blue-skinned alien with 4 arms, met them at the airlock. Other aliens stood back, watching the humans with what Jack could only describe as fear. "Welcome to Coalition space," Zix Vora said, voice flat. "Your quarters have been prepared. You will remain there unless escorted by Coalition security." "That sounds more like a prison than diplomatic quarters," Jack said evenly. Zix Vora's upper eyes blinked rapidly. "It is for your protection. The news of humanity's arrival has caused concerns." Jack exchanged glances with Olivia and Ethan. This wasn't what they expected. As they walked through the station, aliens of all shapes and sizes stopped to stare. Some backed away. Others whispered to each other. None approached. In their quarters, which were indeed sealed from the outside, Olivia ran scans. "No listening devices, at least," she said, "but we're definitely being watched." Jack looked out the viewport at the stars. "Different again from this side of space. We need to figure out what's going on. Why would advanced species fear humans? We're newcomers. Our technology is primitive compared to theirs." Later that night, as Jack checked the ship's logs, he heard a soft knock. Opening the door, he found a reptilian alien with golden scales looking nervously down the corridor. "I am Krell," the alien whispered. "I had to speak with you." "About what?" Jack asked. Krell's vertical pupils narrowed. "About why everyone fears you." The alien leaned closer. "You don't understand what you are." Before Jack could respond, Krell slipped away, leaving him with more questions than answers.